The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Okay, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. It's David, and welcome to this very special webinar on X39. We are going to be talking about testimonials today and the experiences that people have with the product. We are going to, of course, invite you today to write in any of your questions. If you would like to share your testimonial with X39, that would also be awesome. But anything that's on your mind having to do with the X39, feel free to ask. So the first thing to kick this off is I'd like to share with you some of the new testimonials that we have been getting in on X39, because it really helps to frame why we have released this product in the first place. So as you all know by now, the X39 is about activating stem cells. So this is a completely different approach to stem cell science than, let's say, getting an injection of stem cells. And I think, as you'll find out on January 19th, when we have the official release of X39, why you're actually going to see that using the method that we have with the patch is actually better than getting an injection of stem cells. But more on that to come later. For now, let's put this all in perspective. What benefits can people expect from the X39? Here is a testimonial that we just received in the other day from one of our longtime LifeWave members, Orna Jalad, in Israel. Now, unfortunately, this past Saturday night, Orna was in an accident. She was on a beach and she slipped and she fell. Apparently, the fall was serious enough where she did significant damage to her back and her legs. She needed to be taken to the hospital in an ambulance, and when she got there, they tried to administer painkillers to get her pain under control, but she says that none of that helped. The next morning, she was taken home, and she was provided with a caregiver to help her get around her house. And she said that the caregiver was supposed to be there for a few weeks. Now, of course, when she got home, she quickly applied the X39, and then she went to sleep. What she was really surprised about is that when she woke up in the morning, the first thing is that she had a good night's sleep, but second, her pain level went from a 10 to a 3. Not only that, but her back had been bruised, and her bruises were already starting to disappear within the first day. So she said that this was absolutely unbelievable. Thank you, David and LifeWave, for the incredible X39 patch. Now, another testimonial that we got in recently comes to us from Austria. This is one of our leaders, Wolfgang Vinzetti. And Wolfgang, at one time, had been a competitive swimmer. But last August, he was involved also in an accident where he fell and he injured his shoulder. As a result, he tore 2 tendons, and while his doctors recommended that he have surgery, for personal reasons he decided against it and opted for physical therapy. Now, he went through physical therapy for 9 months, but none of this improved his shoulder. And he had very limited range of motion and was not able to resolve this. Also, because of this injury, as you could imagine, sleep was very difficult for him. Now, here's a part of this testimony that's really important. We know that most people get results with the X39 the first day or the first few days. When it comes to injuries, though, what we have seen is that many people don't start to see results until about 3 weeks in, if it's a serious injury. And this, so even if you're using the X39, you say, well, I don't know if it's working. you got to give it a little bit of time in these cases. And this is exactly what happened with Wolfgang. During the first 2 weeks, he didn't think that anything was happening. But then on day 18, he started to feel a change in his shoulder. By day 30, there was an incredible 80% improvement in his shoulder, and now Wolfgang is well on track to being swimming again, which he is really excited about. Now here is another remarkable testimonial in the field of pain relief and wound healing, and this comes to us actually from a scientist that I've been friends with for the last 13 years. His name is Terry McGrath, and he is a physicist. He's a graduate of Princeton University, and Terry has had a degenerative condition in his feet. It's actually a progressive neuropathy, and he's had this condition for 25 years. So peripheral neuropathy is basically when the blood sugar levels get high, and this is going to damage the nerves. As a result, there's pain associated with this, and there is a progressive loss of feeling in the extremities. If it is allowed to continue and circulation is impaired, amputation is possible. And actually, amputation occurs in, depending on what country you're in, 15 to 25% of the population. So this is a very serious problem. So the first thing that Terry says here is the X39 patch is restoring feeling to my feet. He's had neuropathy for over 25 years, to the point where he could barely feel his hand touching his skin anywhere forward from his ankle to the tip of his toes. Now, he started using the patches, and he's into 35 days now on using the X39. What he is shocked about is that he now has regained feeling all the way up to his toes. So he's really excited about this, and Terry states that he has measurable progress every single day. The new feelings are quite a surprise and a delight. Already the change positively affected also how he walks. The experts, the medical doctors that he speaks with, say that what he has experienced is not possible. I will keep you informed as to additional progress. Thank you, with 3 exclamation points. Now, here is another interesting testimonial having to do with pain relief, but this one actually comes from a medical doctor. His name is Paul. He's in his late 60s. And what's interesting about this case is that he had damaged his knee, and in fact he had 5 surgeries to correct the knee problem, but despite this, he stayed in constant pain. He had tried many different clinics and medications over the years, but nothing helped. He applied the X39 patch directly to the point of pain on his knee, and to his surprise, within 5 minutes, he started to see a reduction in pain. Now he says, "You are not going to believe this." Well, of course we will. He says, "You are not going to believe this, but a few minutes later, for the first time in 5 years, my knee is not hurting." He reported that a few days later, he was still out of pain, and that he was able to go for a walk without his cane. So Paul was very excited about this. All right, now I've got one more testimonial I want to read, and then we are going to go ahead and take some questions. Now, this one comes to us from Luann Hendricks, and this is a wonderful story about how the X39 can improve the quality of life on so many different levels. Luann tells us that she has been using the X39 for 28 days now. She is a 69-year-old female with a history of bilateral mastectomy and also a knee replacement. She's very active, and she cares for 2 riding horses. She lost so much energy following these medical procedures that she was very sad, considering whether or not she could continue her equestrian lifestyle. Luann tells us, the X39 has given me back my life. My energy level has greatly increased, and after 2 weeks, my sleep, which was another side effect of the medical procedure, has greatly improved. My mood is much improved, and life seems good again. I do hope X39 will be available to us soon, as I only have 2 days remaining. Okay, so those are just some of the X39 testimonials. So let's go back over this for just a moment, and I am going to go ahead and answer your questions. This, of course, is the X39 website that we update every week, and here you can get a snapshot and send people that are interested in looking at some of the benefits of the X39. Of course, we have 141 days left until January 19th when we do the official release in Austria, how you can get the X39, and then, of course, testimonials. We update this each week, and please don't forget, you can click on the See More button, and we have got dozens and dozens of testimonials that we have already posted to this site. So let's go ahead and take a look at some questions now. And you can also raise your hand and I will unmute your microphone if you prefer to do it that way. Okay, so let's take a look here. Will the patch reduce internal scar tissue as well? So, we received actually in a testimonial talking about scars from a naturopath in Germany just the other day. This was a very long scar that he had as a result of a knee surgery, and he had said that after using the X39 for 2 weeks, he couldn't believe it, but he could barely see the scar. Now, would this have application to internal scar tissue? It's a great question. Quite frankly, we do not, as of yet, know the answer to this. The type of clinical studies we're doing at the moment look at the method of action of X39. So in other words, we are going to prove in our clinical studies that this does exactly what we say. We're also looking at some of the other benefits of the X39, and also another study looking at overall health and vitality, what's going on inside the body. So in other words, we're looking at how does this improve the health of the heart, the kidneys, and the brain over a period of 2 months. But will this reduce internal scar tissue? We just don't know the answer to that as of yet. We have anecdotal evidence indicating that that's going on, but nothing definitive. Has anyone not benefited from using the X39? You know, with any product, you're always going to have people that don't respond for a variety of reasons. This could be from things like dehydration. You could have vegans that wouldn't respond because they don't have enough essential fatty acids in the diet or not sufficient protein to repair damaged tissue. You could have people that have a lack of minerals like magnesium, zinc, copper, selenium, boron. So there's always going to be a percentage of the population that won't respond. We don't have those numbers yet definitively because the majority of people that have used the product are getting great results with it. But that said, there are definitely people respond immediately the first day, and then there are people that respond within the first 3 weeks. So when you're using the product, if you're one of those people that it takes a little bit longer to respond, definitely don't get discouraged and stay with it. Okay, I would like to know, sorry this is taking up so much room here. Try to see if I can reduce the size. Let's turn that off. I would like to know if I can put the X39 patch on a problem area. Yes, absolutely. So there is really, okay, I'm reading the next part of this, which I won't read aloud. So the answer is generally yes. I'll give a good example, which would be the knees. So there are people that have gotten pain relief and other effects and other improvements with the knees from wearing the X39 on the back of the neck. And then there are people that have applied the X39 directly to the knee to get the pain relief and other benefits. So what I would say is, sure, if you want to apply it to a problem area, there should be no problem with that. Okay, we're getting a testimonial in here. It is relatively long, but let me go ahead and read this. Here's a testimonial from my sister. Good morning, guys. Sorry for the early text, but I just want to share my excitement of the X39 patch. I have pulled the muscles of my right arm and have had some digestion issues lately. This morning at 7 a.m., I put the X39 patch below my belly button. Wow! I immediately felt the back of my muscles denotched and the pain of the right arm went away immediately. Then I had a bowel movement right after that. This is incredible. Please help me to place an order. Thank you. Okay, Larry, thank you so much for sharing that testimonial. Okay, let's see. Okay, this is a question about patching with X39. This was patched a friend with plantar fasciitis. With X39, got about 70% pain relief. That's really awesome. Plantar fasciitis is incredibly difficult to get pain relief, even with our other products like Eon and IceWave. How should I patch him for night and day since we had to remove X39 after 12 hours? Thank you. It's so nice to be able to help people. Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the great things about our business is that we do help people, and we can build a business in the process and earn money. So, okay, let's talk about this for a moment. Definitely, I would not leave X39 on for 24 hours. So you're doing the right thing with 12 hours on and 12 hours off. The other side to it is that there's still going to be benefits to the X39 even after you have removed it. So in other words, the peptide that it elevates is going to linger around for a bit, so it doesn't necessarily mean the pain is going to return right away. But that said, what I would do is use X39 during the day and then use, let's say, a combination of IceWave and Eon as one possibility in the evening. For something like plantar fasciitis, you could try applying, there are several points for pain relief around the feet. One of them is spleen 6, so you have IceWave, white on right, tan on left. The other is stomach 40. Stomach 40 is a very powerful point for pain relief in the feet. And then, of course, you could apply Eon right directly to the point of pain, and that should work pretty well. So that's one option. Okay. Okay, first off, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to get X39 for free. Can we have a complete list of what patches that can be used with X39? Okay, so at the moment, of course, we are still evaluating this in clinical studies. Based on present information, yes, you could use IceWave, Energy Enhancer, and Carnosine at the same time. If you wanted to use things like Silent Nights, Nirvana, Alavita, in the evening, then I'd say you could do that. The two patches I have the single biggest question marks about are going to be Eon and glutathione in terms of using them at the same time as X39. And the reason is that stem cells are attracted to inflammation. So the thinking is that, well, if you reduce inflammation with Eon, are stem cells still going to be able to find their target? It's a question, and we don't know the answer to it. On the other hand, interestingly, while stem cells are attracted to an injury site by inflammation, they're also destroyed by the same inflammation. So it could turn out later on that Eon actually amplifies the effect of X39. So we really don't know yet. So I would say, just as a purist, use X39 by itself. If you wanted to use it with Energy Enhancer or Ice Wave, no problem. If you wanted to experiment with Eon and glutathione, you could, but it's just a question mark. Don't know how that combination is going to work yet. Okay, did Terry place the X39 on his feet to help get his feeling back? Actually, I'll have to ask him about that. I had given him instructions to apply the patch either to the back of his neck or below his belly button. So that may be all he did. I do not believe he applied it on his feet. Okay. Is there a residual effect with the X39 when you stop using it? Okay. For a long or short period of time? Yes, there definitely is a residual effect. So what does that mean? Well, in other words, many people, I don't know the percentage yet because it's very, very high. Many people report significant improvements in the quality of sleep from using X39, very deep sleep. And this is all with using the X39 during the day, but not using it in the evening. So this definitely tells us that there is a residual effect. Now, X39 works on several different levels. Let's talk about stem cell activation. So what we're doing now is we're utilizing stem cells in the body. That, as I mentioned, is different than getting an injection of stem cells. And so let's say the X39 is going to help to facilitate repair of an injury. When you remove the patch, the injury is not going to return, of course. But when you're using X39, there's also some very favorable hormonal changes that occur in the body. There's also beneficial effects when it comes to antioxidants in the body and management of inflammation. So just like you would have with any type of vitamin product or any supplement, when you stop using the X39, you're going to lose those benefits. So yeah, the idea here would be you'd want to use it on a regular basis to help maintain your health. Do you place the patch on a scar or the recommended points? Yeah, so that is also open for experimentation. The data that we have would indicate that simply applying the patch either at the back of the neck or below the belly button will have benefits for the entire body. So it's not completely necessary to apply the patch directly to a scar or injury, although some people, nevertheless, they do that. Okay, lots of great questions here. Okay, here's a question. I want to be careful about this. This is stepping on the line of a medical claim. In the case of bone on bone in a shoulder, to regrow cartilage and avoid a shoulder replacement, how will the X39 work? Okay, so first thing is we do not make any medical claims about our products. We don't claim that any of our products are going to cure or treat any type of disease or medical condition. And if you have a medical condition, you should seek the advice of your doctor before using this or any other product. All right, so now that we've got gotten through some of the legalese here. One of the things that's been demonstrated in clinical research, not clinical research that we've done, but other outside clinical research, is that stem cells are in fact capable of regrowing cartilage. Now, one of the things that we've seen over the years with the Eon and the glutathione patch, when placed around an injury site, is that when you have supplementation of collagen protein and vitamin C, people do in fact regrow cartilage. Now, bear in mind, stem cells are universal cells, so the cartilage comes from stem cells. So, in other words, the idea here would be if we were able to improve the activity and the function of the stem cells in the body, we can facilitate our own healing. I know that is not an overly technical description, but I'm trying to avoid making a medical claim. But this is really to say stem cells create everything in the body, and clinical studies do in fact show stem cells can regrow cartilage. That's injections of stem cells, I should say. Okay, another question. Can someone breastfeed or nurse with using the patch? The answer is no. We don't have any clinical studies on the use of the patch when someone is nursing or breastfeeding. So we can't currently recommend that. Okay. If you place an X39 on the back of your neck for 12 hours, then take it off, can you place an Eon or other patch on the back of your neck for the next 12 hours? Or should you give that place a rest or break? That's a great question. It really depends on the individual. That's something that I have done from time to time, but I find after a few weeks that area at the back of my neck gets a little bit sensitive and red. So it really depends on the individual. On the one hand, there's no reason why you couldn't, but if you find that the skin is getting irritated, then yeah, you should give it a break. And of course, you could really apply the patches just about anywhere. Okay. Has X39 helped with neuropathy from type 2 diabetes? And of course, we don't want to make a medical claim here. The only thing I could say is, based on current evidence, we believe X39 could help relieve pain and reduce inflammation as associated with neuropathy. Oh, here's an interesting question. I have been using the X39 for 5 days. What I'm experiencing is a lack of sleep, and I get very agitated. Should I stop using this? Okay, so this could be from a number of different reasons. I don't want to speculate without having more data. But one thing that I might suggest is if you're using the patch at the back of the neck, try moving it below the belly button. I'm also going to assume that you're using it during the day and not in the evening. Okay, so we're getting a comment here that there's a gentleman who is a neuromuscular therapist. I believe I have met him. And he says he can feel internal scar tissue has greatly lessened. That's awesome feedback. Can stem cells become unhealthy things instead of healthy things? Let's see, there's more to this. For instance, tumors, warts, cysts. Well, stem cells can become any other cell in the body, and mutations of cells, of course, occur all the time. So if we were talking about plants, plants have stem cells, animals have stem cells, so everything is derived from that. So really what we would be talking about here is something along the lines of cancer, where the cell mutates. And the cells would mutate from being exposed to a carcinogenic agent, such as, let's say, a pesticide. It could, radiation could cause a mutation from a normal healthy cell over to a cancer cell. When the immune system is compromised, and the aging process, as cells begin to lose their electrical potential, cells can mutate. So in a way, I suppose I would have to say yes, it's entirely possible. What you'll see when we launch the X39 in January is that we've taken a considerably different approach than, let's say, simply increasing the total number of stem cells. So let's use this as an example. Let's say there was a vitamin supplement that you could take that would increase the total number of stem cells in the body. This would not necessarily be an advantageous thing. In other words, let's say that you're over the age of 60 or 70. As you age, the efficacy of the stem cells diminishes greatly. So the ability of the stem cells to make healthy cells diminishes. The ability of the stem cells to release growth factors also dramatically decline. So if you took a vitamin pill and it were to increase the number of stem cells in the body, it wouldn't necessarily be of help. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that you may not get the best results. What the X39 is doing is significantly different. First of all, we are causing an increase in the proliferation rate of the stem cells. And if we go back to the original presentation on X39, it has a feature called youth renewal, meaning the X39 resets thousands of genes in the body back to a younger, healthier state. So in other words, the X39 has a built-in protection mechanism that fosters health. And that's about all I want to say about it for now, but you'll get much more information on January 19th. All right, we're past the bottom of the hour. I'll try to get as much here as I can. Let's see, some medical questions here. Sorry, I can't answer those. Just seeing if there's a few more questions here before we go. I'll turn my video back on. Sorry the picture's so big at my end. Has anyone tried putting the patch on the forehead or the head area? Yes, as a matter of fact. The best single example that I can give of that is one of our leaders in Europe. His name is Jan Wiegel. He had been in an accident about 10, 11 months ago now and went blind in one eye. He had 4 corrective surgeries. None of that improved. He placed the X39 on the head, right around the eye. So it was the right eye. He had a patch either on the temple or directly above the eye. And in about 3 weeks, he regained 50% of his vision. It was extraordinary. So yes, absolutely. Can you use WinFit with the X39? I think that combination is probably fine. Is X39 safe for toddlers and small children? At this point in time, we would have to say we cannot recommend that until we have more clinical studies. Is patching detox required prior to X39? No, I'm going to assume that you mean using the glutathione patch. No, you can use the X39 and get great results. Of course, the healthier the body is, the better results you're going to get, the faster results you're going to get. So detoxifying the body is always going to be a good thing, but I don't see that as being a requirement before using the X39. Can collagen and vitamin C help in repair with stem cell repair with X39? I'd have to say yes. So let's just do this and then we will go ahead and wrap up. How could we optimize the effects of the X39? I'll give you a few tips. The first one is we want to make sure that we give the body all of the raw materials that it needs. So the basics would be protein and healthy fat. So salmon would be a great choice. Mackerel would be a great choice. These are going to be rich in protein and very high in omega-3 fatty acids. And these are found throughout the body and are major constituents of every cell. So we need to have our proteins and our fats. Secondly, we need to have minerals. Things like magnesium, zinc, boron, copper, selenium. These are all going to act as catalysts that are necessary for triggering repair mechanisms in the body and production of different hormones like testosterone and growth hormone that are going to play a role in repair. So these are things that we can do that are inexpensive, just simple dietary changes, very inexpensive supplements that can help support the X39. Now, if you are specifically interested in regenerating cartilage, then yes, I would recommend collagen, protein, and vitamin C. It's not going to be necessary if you have a good diet and you have adequate protein and fat, but definitely it's not expensive, it's simple to do, and you'd have to do it for, let's say, 30 or 60 days, and you get really great results. Okay, so we are past the bottom of the hour. I want to say thank you very much for all of your time today. Hope that you enjoyed it. Of course, this webinar was recorded, and we will have this posted to our YouTube channel shortly. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening, and look forward to hearing more about your success stories with X39. So thank you, everyone. Good evening.